Welcome back again to another video. As you saw in the last one, we got the battery hooked up and the exhaust finished. We did start it. It does sound great, and hopefully at some point, either this video or the next one, we'll get it running again and maybe take it outside. So the brake pedal is also hooked up. I pumped the brakes and it does stop while I'm rolling the car a little bit, so that's perfect. We've got some heat wrap we're going to put on the gas lines that run from the engine towards around the headers there. I also have a nice transmission cover we're going to try and fit on the car. We're going to get the car back up here in a little bit, disconnect some of the starter wires, things like that. We're going to start rerunning some new wires that I picked up and get that stuff kind of going. In this harness that's down here, we have a lot of power cables and a bunch of other things that come through the firewall from the computer. Now that the battery's in the car, we can go ahead and kind of eliminate some of this transfer through. So we can make a little cover here and cover this wiring. The plan, or the reason why I put the battery inside, was because of the wheels. The wheels stick out so far that when you turn the wheel into the body, or when you go like a full hard left, full hard right, the tire goes right into where the battery used to be. So that issue is we don't want that rubbing and things like that. The plan is to have this as a permanent fix and then make it so the wiring for the engine will be kind of, I don't know, hidden, I guess, or tucked, as they say. So we're doing like a full or half wire tuck on this thing. Try to get the engine bay as clean as possible, really nice. And so that'll also keep it simplified and things like that. So when we do an engine conversion or swap at some point, I would love the car to be manual. Pretty comfortable?
It's an automatic. You can put your other hand down.
Ow, right here. Maybe a year 3 project. We can then remove less items from the engine bay and then, you know, do the swap very easily. So that being said, we're going to get right into it. I also would like to connect a new coolant reservoir that I have for the engine bay. I'm going to find a place for that and then fill the car with coolant. Hopefully it will then run longer, and then we can pull it outside, let it warm up, have it go through, you know, its warm-up stage or its open loop and closed loop stage, and then maybe even take it around the block at some point. So also at the end of the video, we have some big news coming, so stay tuned for that. And right now we'll get right into fixing up this wiring. Let's go. We have these lugs that I purchased from Amazon. I'm going to make a hole here on this firewall cover, and all you're going to see is basically these things sticking out on either side. So this will also allow me to boost the car if I need to, charge the battery, all this kind of thing, because it'll all be inside hidden, and also connect the main wires for the engine section through here. So this goes through the firewall. On the other side, this will be connected to the battery. These are called bulkhead connectors, I believe. And basically all you're going to see is these two lugs sticking out of the end. I do have caps for these as well, so it should clean that up a little bit. But I need to find a nice location for them. We're going to trim up some of this rubber now it's all dry, and maybe touch up the paint on the bolts so they kind of don't see them all that much. And yeah, I just need to find some placement for this. I don't want these too close to the headers because of the heat, obviously. So I might do them out here on the side because they'll be kind of hidden by the cover that goes here, and run the wires across the top and then down into the starter. All of this stuff will be relocated inside. All of this wiring that's here will be gone. The one for the headlights, I will have to kind of maybe roll them up for now because we're not onto the headlights yet, or the taillights, so that will be changed at some point. All the wiring for the front end also controls the headlight motors, things like that that we're not using anymore. So once that's determined, we will then be able to cut those back. So for now, we're going to start drilling a hole, get these in here. I think the little inlet where the blower motor used to go, there's a hole there still. That will be a good place for the wires to kind of run and go into the car safely, and then these will be left either side by side or up and down, I don't know, something like this. And then we can get that going. Then we can connect the air and stereo stuff on the inside and trim this down because this is very heavy gauge wire. We're going to get rid of that, make some room, tuck all that away, and then we start cleaning up the wiring inside.
Hey!
What the? How'd you get in there?
I'm everywhere.
Uh-oh, what do you got for us today?
You got time for a joke?
Just enough time, yeah.
Okay, it's a short one. What do you call a lost wolf?
A lost wolf?
Mm-hmm.
Lost!
A werewolf.
Oh my god.
It's so obvious.
A werewolf?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
werewolf. Where's the wolf? Yeah. Oh, man.
Nice battery mount here.
Thank you.
Battery box mount?
You look very small in the car. I like it. How'd you get in there?
I moved some things.
You moved some. Don't move things. I need things.
As long as it doesn't fall, we're good.
Nah, you won't fall.
But now we can boost the car if we need to.
Now we can boost the car, yeah. So, mount is here. Whoop, sorry. This will go around and over to the starter.
Okay.
It should reach, or no, it won't. Will it reach the starter? I don't think it will. What do you know about that? I need another cable. Right. So, the new power cable I purchased is too short. And very too short. So what I'm going to do is repurpose the old power cable, which I just cut off. This still has the piece on it that goes onto the starter, which I can reuse. And this will run up and around and in. So I just need to put a wire connector on the end of this, as well as the ground cable that I purchased. I purchased a couple of these. These are super thick gauge wire, basically 0 gauge almost, or probably close to 2 maybe. Either way, it's super stiff, as you can see that they maintain shape. The copper inside here is very good. And what we're going to do is remove the drain from where the wiper cowl goes. And this is going to come down and bolt to the frame. So this will be the frame ground, and the other ground cable I'll show you goes across where this one will run and onto the engine itself. So the engine will be grounded and the frame will be grounded. So we're going to go ahead and start creating some ends here. I've got a kit full of eyelets, and we're going to start making up some wires here. Okay, we're on day 2 of this. So what we're going to do is basically start probing the wires here near the fuse panel and in the engine bay. So we're going to check continuity between this wire and that wire. Basically all the wires here run from the fuse panel all the way over to the driver's side, out, and then back into the engine. So we're going to relocate some of those wires to here. There's a hole that's back here that I can tuck the wires through back here, so we won't have to have them running across the engine over that way. Part of the wire tuck is to eliminate unneeded wires like the heater and a bunch of other crap. I'm hoping that this will be pretty straightforward, but I relocated the starter wires, things like that already, so that will eliminate some of that. There was 4 power cables or 4 12-volt leads going onto the starter itself also, so basically the starter was its own kind of bus bar. So we're going to eliminate that, have all the wires coming to this instead. This will be mounted inside here, and we're going to shorten some of these wires. So this is going to save probably about 5 pounds of weight and make the wiring pretty straightforward. So this is all going to be unwrapped, cleaned up, because there's still I think some mouse residue here. And basically we're just going to start probing wires, confirm, do one at a time, and continue, I guess. So basically right now I'm looking for 12 volts and grounds. So basically we're going to relocate the constant 12-volt leads and the ground wires, and then we'll start with other things like sensors and stuff that I can move in here, like relays, whatever else, and get them out of the engine bay and into the car itself, because we have all this space in here now, minus the battery of course, but yeah, should be pretty good. We're going to add more grounds to the body. We're going to add an additional ground to the engine and make that stable. We've got a 0-aught gauge or 1-aught gauge wire for the air suspension and amps and all this kind of thing. So this I've trimmed back now. We're going to run this all along here, up and around. So yeah, hopefully this doesn't take 4 days or 5 days, but it's going to be really nice when it's done. So I'm going to get to work. Okay, so here we go. We've got a lot of this stuff done. Here are the tools of the trade. I'll put the links in the description where you can get all the cool stuff I'm using. We've got a heat gun here. We've got some new wire running from the alternator. I've changed this plug, this plug, this plug, this plug, this plug, this plug, this plug. All of the plugs are rotten. And this plug here for the throttle position sensor, which I need to set, was broken. We had another plug here where there was wires touching for the fuel relay. That's all new. We've also added a new filter for the distributor, so that'll be nice. That's all good. We've changed the throttle body plugs as well. They were broken and cracked. The old coolant sensor here on the front was a single pin with a 2-prong plug on the end. I bought a new sensor just because I changed all the sensors on here, and I couldn't find the receptacle or the plug, so I've upgraded to a newer style plug with a 2-pronger on it, so that's in now. We've changed all of this. We've refurbished all of this wiring here, so that is done. Just need to wrap it up with some loom here. We've got lots of new loom to go over that, some zip ties, new coolant sensor wire, new grounds. Oh, the list goes on and on. This stuff is starting to slowly disappear as we go through, so we're going to run some wires under the booster through a loom. Going to zap it to the firewall here, and all of this stuff will be covered by the cover, which you will not see. Once we come over here, we've got the new receptacles here for the power and the ground. As you can see, they go in there. We've got the ignition control modules bolted here to the firewall piece. I still need to put some paint there. But as you can see on this side, it's all nice and clean. Everything is put away. And then we move to the back, and we've still got this stuff on the go. I built this little piece up inside here out of some ABS plastic. I've kind of bent it, and we're going to rivet it to the tunnel here. And then all of these new positive leads will go in there. So these are all the ones that were on that starter. They're now gone, and that is good. So that leaves us with a couple other things to do left. So I'm going to do this in 2 parts. It's going to be part 1 of part 2 of the wiring. I know I'm taking a long time to post up videos. I've been pretty busy the last little while, so I will show you in the next clip the big news. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate all you guys watching. Be sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. There is more stuff coming. We are almost so close to getting this car to run and drive around the block, which is going to be amazing. And we actually have to get the other door on as well. So anyway, we'll see you on the next video. Take care. So behind me, or beside me, is the big news. We've made a gigantic purchase. We are quite excited. We're working out some details, but this is going to be the new home for all things that are cool. I'll flip you around. And you know this girl. This Emily from M's Living, eh? So here is a house. A house we bought. And here's the new home for all the cool things. We don't have the keys yet. We're still working on it. But once we get inside, I'll show you all the fun stuff that we're going to be able to do in here. It's going to be incredible. We have to put power in here. We got to paint it. We got to do all kinds of fun stuff. But that is coming up in the next few. But yeah, huge news. I didn't want to underpromise, but it's awesome. That's an Emily for scale. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's going to be huge. We're already thinking of the next project. We're not getting too far into that yet because we still need to finish the other one. So once that's done, then I'll have to do some renovations here, or at least have to do some here so we can move in, get settled, and then we're going to finish the car. So that's where we've been. We've been a little busy working on a few things, but it's going to be good. And I appreciate everyone following along. It's been a huge journey and a huge milestone in our lives. So it's going to be pretty awesome. There's a train that runs right through here, and we're pretty excited. It's a little further out on the opposite end of town where we used to live, but this thing right here, man, it's going to be incredible. And again, Emily for scale.
Hey, train.
A train. You want to go beat it?
To where?
You have to run across before it goes by.
I've already lost.
Oh dang, here it comes.
I read on the Facebook group that happens 8 times a day.
8 times a day. Well, that's not bad.
The Via one of these.
Oh, okay. Oh, and also big news, Jeep's gone. So now we have this. And yeah, it's pretty slick. Because, you know, we own a house now, so we need a truck. That was my justification.